These O-gauge buildings from Menards have transformed how we do scenery here on our O-gauge railroad. So when it came time to upgrade our passenger platform from this little thing, I knew there was only one thing for us to do. Let's check it out. This is the Menards station that we're going to take a look at today. It is pretty nicely featured. It has LED lights and plugins and other features I'll show you here. It says Union Station up front, which is kind of nice for me because I have a Union Pacific themed layout here, but don't worry, that sign could be easily changed in case you wanted to make it for a different type of railroad. But you've got some passengers here on one side of the platform and nobody on the other. There are also some interesting signs that are posted here. Danger, do not touch the live rail. Maybe you don't need to worry about the electricity so much if you're not running, electric trains and such, but keep back from the platform edge. Passengers must not pass this point or cross the line, otherwise you get flattened. So that's some fun train safety stuff. You'll also notice there's a plug here in the side. These are powered from a 4.5 volt power pack that's not included with Menards buildings if you've done these before. I always seem to get the power pack in a pack of 3 because I've always got more buildings to hook up to them, but instead of hooking it up here from the side, which if this was something you're just using on the floor with some buildings that you've put out and then you're taking them, putting them away, that's nice and easy access there from the side. But if you're going to mount it to a layout, there is another point underneath here. This cord can come out and you can just run the power up and through that way instead. That's how I'll be mounting this one. These aren't like grippy strips or anything. These are literally just cut in that are holding these pieces on top to the frame. Speaking of the frame of this whole thing, it's nice and robust. This is a piece of metal, and it's very thin, which means that you can run track directly over the top of this. So this was, again, if this was a floor layout, you could just have this on top, not really worry about things. And if this is on part of a layout, you don't really have to cut this in too bad. I may not even have to do that just to keep the tracks level with my other scenery and such. But yeah, there's a single strip of LED lights that run along the very top. There's nothing on the sides over here, but those are going to produce plenty of light, and with all of these clear panels up on top with that nice detailing going through there, and I really like those features in there. This is going to look great lit up regardless. If that light is too bright for you, you can always cover those or even paint over those with like yellow to reduce the bright, cool white LEDs that are in there and reduce the lighting to be a little bit more yellowish, kind of more halogen, more kind of in line with other buildings you may have. Now, these are pretty much essentially glorified cardboard kind of balsa wood sort of construction. It does seem pretty sturdy here on my table, and I'm not super worried other than some of these details along the top are a little bit thinner, and these signs obviously could probably come off pretty easily. The people are glued and kind of stuck in place. There's a peg going out through the bottom of their foot into pre-drilled holes underneath that you can't notice. Again, those are really nice. And yeah, otherwise really impressed with the detailing that's on here. Now, you're probably wondering dimensions on this thing, because if you're going to have a passenger platform that goes through the station, you need to make sure that your cars are tall enough, and you also need to make sure that this will work with your track system. Now, thankfully, this is already pretty wide, and I wasn't super worried when I was at the store looking at this thing that it was going to clear my fast track. I use fast track on my layout, and especially if you're using just a simple on-the-floor layout, if you don't have a tabletop, which is fine, you could just slide this right on in there, power it up, and boom, you got yourself a passenger station. But there is still even a little bit of play in this left to right, but not so much that you're really going to notice. Plus, when you've got either passenger cars, or in my case, I've got a diesel here to kind of display the height. Again, I've got the height listed on screen, but not really something you're going to worry about too much in here. Maybe domed cars might run into issue with that, or taller, more modern freight would run into issues with this clearance. But in terms of this guy and the other cars that I've tested, not going to be a problem. Size-wise, this is quite the upgrade from what we were using before with this little platform. It obviously sits up quite a bit higher because it's elevated here, so that works a little bit better with our fast track because the fast track is raised as well. But this little platform doesn't have any lights. You have to have it trackside, whereas this is tall enough for them to go through. This is even tall enough for me to fit my old platform inside. So just to give you an idea of size. So as I make adjustments to the track up top, I ended up also adjusting where the power comes in. You can see I moved it over from this point to there now, so it's directly underneath the track. It used to just kind of come out of the side, and it didn't look very clean. So I've got that rewired. I also went through the trouble with my base and my ZW, kind of the best of the old world and the new world here working together. And I got the wires all nice put against this backing board on the shelves that are down here. So while I was doing the station, I decided to clean everything up under here. Voila! Welcome to Union Station. And yeah, I've made a couple of changes because that's how I roll. You'll notice I did end up taking out those kind of big oversized warning signs on the sides of these columns here. They weren't too bad to come off. They did take a little bit of the finish with the black on here, but you can't really notice. And yeah, you'll notice also I've flipped the whole orientation. This is the side that's usually on the other side of the box with all the, you know, the passengers, but they're on this middle platform because facing the camera is where my son likes to play with this stuff, moving the buses, moving the passengers on and off. So I left the passengers and such on these little pedestals here so he can play with those, and everyone else can hang out on the middle platform. But yeah, otherwise, mostly unchanged. Again, took those signs out and just flipped the orientation. I have the power coming from underneath, and that's all wired into the rest of the system. So let's see what it looks like on. Yay! Looks very nice, very bright. Also, fun fact, this neat little Union Pacific bus is an MTH piece. And we put passengers in it because we had leftover passengers from when we were doing our passenger car fund. So that was fun to do as well. But yeah, so his favorite characters over here are good to go and ready to board their first train. But I haven't exactly tried this thing out yet. So let's see if I can get our biggest train and our longest passenger cars to go through here without a hitch. So this is a Lion Master Big Boy. Of course, it's number 4014. Obviously, no clearance problems there. There is a bit of a turn over back here that, as you see these 18-inch Atlas passenger cars, these are the same size as like an MTH Premier passenger car. They do swing out slightly, but everything does clear. And the main thing that I was worried about, the one thing that I wasn't quite sure on, were taller cars like this domed car. No problems there. So this passenger station is ready to roll. And man, I really like how these cars look under the lights as it passes through. It really helps pick up, especially on these Premier ones, all the nice riveting details and stuff on the tops of the cars. So let's run some trains. Yeah. Elvie and Gladys have plenty of room.
Yeah.
And look at the lights in it.
Oh.
Do you like the platform?
Uh-huh. Even I didn't know it had glass.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I can't wait to do passenger trains with you when you get back from school.
Yeah. Oh, Dad.
What?
We got the new doggy.
Yep.
He kind of looks like a wolf.
He kind of does. Because he's a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's Union Station from Menards. This thing is available now in stores as of making this video. It's officially train season, which means that the stuff is back out on the store shelves. But whether you're in the Midwest or not, this stuff is always available online, so go check out their stuff. Plus, we've made a ton of videos about Menards products, especially these buildings, in the past, so check those out here if you're looking for more information about other things you can get from them. Really happy with how this turned out with our railroad and the addition to the line. Really looking forward to making use of a lot of those new shots with the new structure and everything, and to loading and unloading passenger cars with my son. So thanks again for watching. Subscribe, leave a like and a comment. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you guys all on the next one.